Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for July 31st, 2022. So, sorry, my hair, I got it done yesterday, but my hair doesn't do good on the second day, and I'm not allowed to wash it till tomorrow, so sorry about that. Anyway, this has been a horrible week. I am so hot right now. It is like 8:30, and I'm dying in here, and it's not even that hot. I mean, it's not hot outside yet. It is in my house. Anyway, so it's going to be an interesting day. This week has been, high temperatures, and I just don't do well with them. And it's just, this next week will be a little bit better, hopefully. Today's supposed to still be, I think, hit 100. And I'm so tired of the heat. And then this week is supposed to be like 90s, low or high 80s. And then again, it's going to be hot next weekend. Not looking forward to this. Anyway, so beyond that, not much is going on. I think the heat has just been the only thing that's really been happening. And I mean, I've worked, that's fine, normal stuff. So let's talk about the books that I finished, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. So I finished Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I loved this book. This is the first book in the Regency fairy tale series by her. I bought this independently published earlier this year and meant to get to it for months, but I didn't. And then it's now coming out from Orbit, and I do want to continue the series because this was wonderful. I loved this book. This is a 5-star book for me. This was just phenomenal. So this is following Dora, who as a child has an encounter with the Fey Lord and loses half of her soul. And so then it's as she grows up as she's older, and her cousin is now of age to go to London to find a husband, and she goes along with her, even though they don't really expect her to have very good prospects, because she is slightly off because her emotions are very blunted by what happened to her as a kid. And she knows that there's something, that she has this issue, but she can't show a lot of the emotions that she has, even though she'll think it, like, I know I should be reacting this way, but I'm not. And it's just such a good look at somebody who has those kind of mental issues, or things that are, that wants to portray, to be like everybody else, but it just isn't. And she encounters some very interesting men. One of them is the Lord Sorcerer, who is the Regent's, the Prince Regent's sorcerer, and he has his own issues and his the way he is perceived and things. And he at some point is says he will help her try to figure out how to do about half her soul and try to see if she can get the other half back. But this book is so much more about the Regency era and the way people perceived people who are poor, and also people who have been to war and come back with PTSD, which of course, they didn't have that term then, but there's all these issues about life in that time, and also the girls who are put forth in trying to get married to, men that just their mothers think, or their family thinks that they should marry because it would, help the family. And there are so many different topics in here, and then there's just a sweet love story in here. I really enjoyed this book overall. I loved all the characters. I loved the people and places we got to see, and the things there. There's so much happened here. There was a great twist at one point where I didn't realize that was going to happen, and I like that. There's also a mystery in here. There's a plague of children falling asleep in the workhouses and not waking up and passing away because they do not wake up. And so that's kind of involved in that too. And it's just, there's with all the people it's just such a sweet book. It's not very long. It read so quickly. It was just so endearing. I just love this book. I can't wait to reread it. This is actually one of those books where I almost picked it up again to reread. But what happened is I stayed up late on Sunday to finish this because I was so into it. I'm like, I'm not going to bed until this is done. And if I finished it earlier in a day, I probably would have gone back and reread it right then. But I already have this on my list of books I want to revisit, not too far in the future. I love this book, and I highly recommend it. I think it's really funny that after I read it, I saw like several other people read it, like on some of the big channels, like Is It Peru's Project and Elliot Brooks and a couple others. And I'm like, I just read it. Like, that was so weird. I know there's somebody else. There's like a lot of people read it this last week or so. I just thought that was funny. Anyway, I really enjoy this and definitely recommend this if you like Regency era, but with a little magic involved. And it was just so sweet. I really love this. I did purchase the next book of this series, 10,000 Stitches, because it came out last week or the week before. One of the two, I don't remember what week it was, but I did order, and then I pre-ordered the third one because I definitely love this series, and I'm just excited to continue on. But I loved Half a Soul and Dora. I just loved them all, and Elias, and I just loved them all. They were just awesome. I just loved them. Anyway, so I did try another book on Monday. It didn't go so well, so I'll talk about that as one of my currently reading books because I'm not sure what I want to do with that one yet. But then I picked up Monday night, The Haunting of Bryn by Wendy Webb. And this is my BookTube spin number 7 pick, one of the two. And it's a book that I pre-ordered. It was at the end of 2020, I think this is when this came out. And it was one of those ones I saw on Amazon that was really, really cheap, but it sounded really interesting. It has, because it's The Haunting. So it's kind of that gothic mystery kind of feel. This woman has had a really hard 3 years, or 3 years with family drama, or she was taking care of a dying relative, and her relationship fell apart, and other things were going on, and she doesn't know if she wants to return to her job. So she had taken a sabbatical for the time period, and then she's trying to make decisions about her life, and she goes to this small town because her friend lives there and rents a room at a boarding house on the Lake Superior, and she gets to meet all the people in this small town, and all the and things kind of have a little twist to them because the boarding house might be just a little bit haunted in some ways. So I really enjoyed this. Okay, let's put it this way. This was a bingeable read. Like, this was compulsive. I had to read this. I read this so much. Like, when I got home from work on Wednesday, is that right? No, Tuesday. I got home from work on Tuesday, and I just devoured this, and I stayed up to finish it. Again, I think I had to finish it. I had to know what happened. I had to know all it came through. I did not like the end particularly, and I didn't like. There's a lot of things she throws in here for red herrings that she didn't complete them, but it was so bingeable, and I love the characters and the atmosphere of the town, because it's summer on Lake Superior, and there's all this stuff going on about, people when they go on vacation, but they're staying there for a long time, get to know the people that are also there. And there's talk about, people who had family members who were sick and they cared for them. There's also a woman with Alzheimer's in here. And then again, there's like the ghostly aspect that's going on in here too. I think a lot of it's wrong. This book is not perfect in any way. Like, there's so many things that I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you say that? But it was so bingeable. And I had read a book of hers, like, I don't know, like 7-8 years ago, called The Vanishing. And I have no memory of what that book is about, because I was so surprised I had read it. I'd forgotten it completely. It's on my list though, so I definitely read it. Probably from the library, because I don't remember owning it. But now I want to reread it to see if it's the same kind of thing. That it's so interesting and yet so like there's wrong things to it. I really enjoyed this though, so much though that I bought a few more books by her, because it was a feeling. It was this feeling of, this small town on Lake Superior, and this gothic kind of mystery element to it, and all these cool characters that were hanging out together. It just didn't fully work for me. The ending I didn't really like on this one. But maybe that's just going to be a thing. I just enjoyed the ride though. It was just a fun ride, and I'm glad I picked this up. I'm glad this was my BookTube spin book, because I've been meaning to pick this up since I got it, because I bought it on a whim, pre-ordered it when I saw it on sale on Amazon. I don't know why I did it. I just did it that day and I got it and I was like, why did I buy this? And it's taken me over a year to read it, but I'm so glad I did, because now I bought more of her books and I need to read them. And I might get back The Vanishing again and see what it was about that book, but I can't remember. I don't recall. I know it has to do with a woman who goes to stay with the author, but I don't remember anything else beyond that. So anyway, but I don't think this is for everybody. I think this is very much if you like those kind of light, there's a light mystery, there's light gothic elements, very contemporary for me. This is very interesting that I really enjoyed this because it is contemporary, but it has all those the other elements. It has kind of a spooky element. It has the gothic element. It has the, small town, everybody gets to know everybody's business kind of thing. I mean, there is kind of a love story in there too. There's just a lot in it. It was just fun. Like, again, it was just a fun read. Not the best thing I've read, but it made me want to read more of her stuff. And I just think it's I like her writing style. Like I guess the way she writes, except I don't like all her plot points. Like I have issues with some of the things that she threw out there that I'm like, well, what happened with that? What we never heard. Anyway, but I mean, obviously, since I bought a few more books by her, I'm going to read more of her. But so that was kind of a surprise. And I'm glad for the BookTube Spin and Rick McNeil for getting me to read that. Then I kind of didn't know what to read next, but I picked up The Ancestor by Danielle Chusani. And I bought this, I think, last year. I don't think it was this year. And this is a book I saw, I think other people, when it came, I don't know if it came out in hardback first, but I didn't buy it right away. I know I waited a little bit. But I can't remember now. Now, there might have been a hardback edition. I'm not sure, but I saw some people read this and I cannot remember because it's been so long. And then I bought it finally. And it's been sitting on my shelf and I keep staring at it. And I've been staring at this for months, like months wanting to read it. But I always found other reasons, other books that I had on my TBR that I thought I should read first. And then this week was like, after reading The Haunting of Bryn Wilder, I was just like, I need to read some of these other books that are kind of spooky-ish. Mysteries that they're just sitting on my shelf. And I definitely wanted ones that were not the dual timeline. For some reason, that was not calling to me. And both of these were just the single timelines. So I think that worked for me this week as well. The Ancestor, the tagline on here says, every family has secrets, but nothing reveals the truth like DNA. And that is that tells you a lot about this story, because it has to do with a woman who took a DNA test for reasons in her own life, and for one of those companies that put, to tell them your ancestry. And she is then contacted by an estate, a very large, wealthy estate in northern Italy, saying that she is the only living relative of the estate, and that they want her to come to Italy and to this small town up in the Alps and take possession of the castle. There was so much to this book that I really liked. I liked the main character, and I didn't always agree with her decisions on the way she jumped into things. I think a lot of times she did do that, but I think I still liked her. Like, I still rooted for her through most of this book. I mean, sometimes I get upset. I'm like, I wasn't too happy about her, but I thought some of what had happened to her in her past, kind of in her family that lived in New York State, and the things that had happened since how they were connected to the Italian castle and that estate was very interesting. I liked all the history of that, very genealogy kind of stuff, ancestry.com kind of stuff. It was really interesting. There's a lot of diaries and journal entries in here kind of thing. I liked that. That was kind of different. Not a lot. There's just a little bit, but a few times that was kind of neat to read from perspectives of people from different eras talking about what they found and stuff. And this did go in directions I didn't quite... Well, I expected one of the... Like, I knew something was going on, and I kind of guessed one thing, but it went so long before it finally revealed that I wasn't sure I was right anymore. So I liked that. That was kind of neat. I think the mystery part of that, of what's going on when she gets to this castle, and she's kind of trapped there, and well, no, she's trapped there because it's winter, and she's trapped there. Anyway, the point is, the things that people are there, and the things that happen, and I think this book, I didn't like it as well as The Haunting of Bryn Wilder, even though this one was plotted better. But this thing, well, Haunting of Bryn Wilder did it as well, but only a couple times. This one did it all the time, and I hate it when a character, again, it's first-person narrative. Both of these are first-person narrative, but they say, hey, if I'd known this, I would have done this, or hey, I didn't know this at the time, but later I learned this. Oh, I hate that, and I know that writing first-person is looking back at something that happened in the past. So you are going to have more knowledge as you're writing. The narrator is going to have more knowledge of what happens because they're in the future now. They've lived through all this. But I hate it as a reader reading it that way because I don't want to know the secrets. I don't want to guess at things. And in this one, I guessed every time she did that, I guessed something that was coming, and I was almost always right. And I guess that's what I didn't like, is that it didn't happen all the time, but I would say 3/4 of the time when she would do that, I would be like, well, wait, that ruins it for me, that she's not going to do whatever I, was first thinking she's going to do. She's going to do this, and she would, or this would happen, and I would be like, wait, so if that happened, then this is going to happen, and it would. So I didn't like it that well. For that, that's my one major critique of this book, was those hints were it just ruined it for me because it was too much. It gave away too many things. They were not Easter eggs well planted or red herrings. Well, they're not red herrings because they told me what was going to happen next. Anyway, the point is that it didn't fully work for me. I still think this was a fun book overall because of the things that happened, and it didn't go anywhere where when I first started the book I would have guessed. But as I said, as I went through, I kind of guessed it as we went. But I really like the way the DNA and the family thing is kind of brought through here, and the things that are brought up. It is surprisingly brutal in certain areas. Sorry, my throat is dying. So, I mean, it's not like there's some violence in here, but I don't think it's super bad, but just be aware that there's a little bit. I don't know. I was just surprised, I guess. I don't know. Some of it, they were just mean. Anyway, some people. Anyway, this was weird. I don't know. Sorry. If I recommend it, I just think it was a fun ride. Definitely nothing like top tier or anything. Like, I just say, as I said, I like this a little bit less than the other one, even though this plotting was better. But again, it gave too much away, so I didn't enjoy it as much. But I still really enjoyed it. And, I did want to show you, I am tabbing things. I don't know, it's hard to tell. I am tabbing things a little bit more. I'm playing with those new tabs that I bought, and we'll see. I might be over tabbing right now for me. We'll see what happens. Anyway, and then the last thing I finished yesterday, my throat, sorry, is, Cat Massage Therapy by Haru Mizukawa Hizakara, sorry. And this is translated from the Japanese by Anne Kent Nyang. So this was just adorable. I got this from the library, and it took months for me to get this because they only had like 1 or 2 copies. I finally got it this last week. So I'm going to turn it back in today when I go to the library because I know there are people behind me. But this is just so adorable. So this deals with some office workers, and this office worker goes to get a massage. He's had a really rough day at work, and he's sore. And he goes to this massage place, and the cat is the manager of the massage, this cat. And they give cat massage, like the cats lay on them or, knead on them for like their massage. It's so cute. Anyway, so he's all raving about this. So he comes back and he gets to meet them and the trainees. Look at the cute little trainee kittens. Anyway, and then he introduces them, or the manager of the cat massage, to his office at work, and then it's just everybody being cute about having the cats around. I just love it. Anyway, it was so cute. It is just adorable. It's just very sweet. It's very quick read, very, very quickly. There's not a huge amount of text. It's just cute with office workers and cats giving little massages or just cuddling with them when they're upset. And it was just, oh, so cute. So I already asked for the second one from the library. I don't know if this is one I will buy. I mean, if I find them used, maybe. They're just so adorable. The cats are just so sweet looking. Anyway, so I do recommend that if you can find it just for fun. I'm not saying buy it, but about at least see it. Anyway, so let's quickly, I always talk so much. I keep thinking I'm going to do better and I do worse. Anyway, so let's talk about the books I'm in the middle of. I am still listening to Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams. This is book 2 in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. As I said, I'm rereading this one, and then I'll read the last King of Ostenard books up to the new book, Into the Narrow Dark, so I can read that hopefully by the end of the year. But I should have started these much earlier, but I've been reading a lot of other audiobooks. I just love this. This is done by Andrew Wincott on audio, and he does a really great job. I'm really enjoying his narration. So I'm about 6 hours from the end of the audiobook, and the audiobooks are pretty long. 2 Green Ginger Tower is going to be huge. That's going to really take forever. But this one was the shorter of the 3 books. And I really am enjoying this. Again, it's not, of the epic fantasy series, we're following this, of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, we're following Simon, who is a kitchen boy who gets kind of caught up in a lot of things going on in the world when he becomes an assistant to kind of the wise man of the castle. And things happen and go really badly in the world. And we're following so many different characters on their journeys in this book. This book is definitely a journey book. This is when everybody's going somewhere to get to for the last book. They all have to get from where they're at to some other places and traveling around. So I still love this book. I still love the series. It's not my favorite of the books because it's so middle book, but it also is just so many things going on and so many things happen in here. And all the characters are in jeopardy all the time. I just love Tad Williams for the series. And I know the ending will be epic because I've read it before several times. I think this is my 4th or 5th time reading this book. Not positive. I can't remember how many times I read it before I started keeping track. So not sure. It's close to that. At least I kind of think it's 5. This is my 5th time through Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, but I'm not positive. Anyway, just enjoying that reread and hoping to get that done. Hopefully I'll get this done this week so that I don't have this audiobook on my vacation because I kind of want to pick something else for that, but we'll see. I did pick up Xana Kearsley after I finished the Ancestor yesterday. So this is Named of the Dragon. So I still am feeling I wanted another contemporary book for me, which is kind of unusual. As I said, this week that was my weird thing this week was I was drawn to contemporary with some mystery, with some supernatural elements. So I'm not sure how this one's going to go yet. I'm only 60 pages in. We're following Lynn, who is a literary agent, and she and one of her authors goes to Wales for Christmas to stay at another author's place. And I think they just get to know everybody at this, I think it's called Angle in Wales. Sounds really interesting. I mean, her atmosphere is just phenomenal for the small coastal town and all the ruins and things that are there. And the farm that they're on. It's called Castle Farm because it has this like tower on it, and there's like there's a a history of some 3 sisters who built different structures. Oh, sorry, the throat is just dying. Anyway, so I'm not very far. There's usually a love interest. There's usually a mystery. There's usually some kind of supernatural element in her books. I know that the main character is having very vivid dreams, nightmares. So I'm not sure how that's connected yet. But I'm really enjoying that already. Oh, my throat is going. Sorry, we're going to go through this. I did try Strange Love by Anne Agrier. Earlier this week, this is the one that I read 50 pages of and then sat down on Monday. And I'm not sure about this. This is sci-fi romance that's really funny. Kind of weird funny. About a woman who is kind of accidentally kidnapped by an alien because he thinks she's someone else that he was supposed to pick up for this mating ritual kind of thing. What do they call it? The choosing. And but he brings her back to his world because he can't find a way back to take her back home. And she and her dog, which now can talk, are navigating this new world with other aliens. So it's not that I didn't like this. I wasn't fully into it. It's 50, as I said, I got 50 pages and I'm not sure about this. I'm hoping to push through and read it later this week. I think I just wasn't into the humor in this for this week. It just didn't work for me. So I'm going to try it again. So that's kind of on there. So then what I think I'm going to read in the next week, again, Women in Translation Month starts on the 1st. So there is going to be a readathon that's done here on BookTube starting the 8th, but I'm not going to worry about that until next week. As I said, I'll probably still read stuff for that. But for the whole month, though, I'm going to follow that. And I'm going to read the second book in the 12 Devletson memoir, and that is Youth. It's about 125 pages. So I go on vacation on the 11th. So I figure if I read 12 to 13 pages a day of the section, because it's 125 pages, I can get that done. I just remember it being childhood being really hard to read. As in so many bad things happening to her. And this takes place in Copenhagen. And I think it's like the late 20s, early 30s. I'm not sure for positive what the time, that's about her age. I'm not sure how old Youth is supposed to be in. So I'm going to guess it was the 30s. So we'll see. So I want to do this translated work. This is translated by Tina Nunnally, I think, and Michael Favala Goldman. So I do want to definitely read that memoir, at least the second part of it, because I'm reading one a year. That's all I can handle. So I'm going to do Youth. And then I have several other I have a whole stack of ones for Women in Translation I'd like to read. So if any of these you think I should read right away, let me know, because I'm probably pick up Child of Fortune by Yuko Shoshima. So I have read a book by her before, Territory of Light, which was really good. I'm not doing translators right now. I'm trying to get this done. The Nakano Thrift Shop by Hiromi Kawakami. A Bookshop in Algiers by Karother Adami. The Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizuku Sujimura. And There's No Such Thing as an Easy Job by Kikuru. No, I can't say that today. I don't know, something like that. Sumura. So those are all the ones I think I'm going to pick up after I finish Named of the Dragon, but I'm not sure. If any of those you think I should pick up for sure, let me know. And then I'd also, at some point this week, would like to start a nonfiction that's not related to that stuff. I would like to read Islands of Abandonment, Life in the Post-Human Landscape by Carl Flynn. I bought this a few months ago. I've been wanting to buy it forever, and I just finally got around to it. And it's talking about places that humans used to live and now have abandoned, and so they're just things that are left, the structures there. And I don't know a lot beyond that. I know I've seen this on other people's channels, and I've been wanting to read it because I know they talk about Chernobyl and some other places. So I'm really interested. I'm hoping to get to this. I'm hoping if I don't get to it this week, then it'll definitely be going. This might be the second book I'm only going to take 2 physical books with me on my vacation. This might be the second one I take. I don't know. We'll see. Hoping to get to that before that, but we'll see. So that's all the books. I've still talked way too long, but I did read a lot. I did enjoy a lot of my reading, even though they were weird. My reading kind of shifted for the week, and then now I'm going to shift again because now I'm going to, after I finish the book I'm in the middle of, Named of the Dragon, I'm probably going to go into translated works. At least I hope so. So if any of those you think I should pick up for sure, let me know. What are you guys reading? How are you guys doing? How are you guys, though, have the heat? How are you guys doing? I am not doing good. Poor Cooper here and poor Truman are just laying out. Poor furballs. This one keeps trying to cuddle with me. And I'm like, I don't want to cuddle, kitty. You're hot. Anyway, he doesn't quite get it. Anyway, so that's it. I will put up my book haul for July later this week. Spoiler alert, I didn't do good. But I got some great stuff. So anyway, I'll have that up later. And I hope you guys stay cool. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.